Hey yo, it's E King Fight News back at it, man. And a shout out to all the subscribers out there, man. Much appreciated. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, Eddie Hearn. Um, Basically, news has come out, and Eddie Hearn is saying Wilder does not deserve 50-50. It's outlandish. It is, it's up to Anthony Joshua whether he wants to give Deontay Wilder that kind of a split. But he obviously feels that they are clear, quote unquote, a side of the whole promotion. And oddly enough, on the back of that, Anthony Joshua is fighting in the United States next, not in the UK. Not where he does 50,000 tickets, 60,000 tickets at Wembley Stadium. But in actuality, it was Wembley Stadium that rejected the fight that he's fighting right now, which is Jarrell Miller. Now, you can tell me if I'm wrong. You can tell me I'm hating, but those are all facts. Wembley Stadium rejected Anthony Joshua because of his opponent's selection. Fact or fiction? Hey. But let's see what Eddie Hearn had to say. I'm gonna read this for the first time as well, so let's get it, man. E King Fighting. All right. Hearn, Wilder doesn't deserve 50-50 split with Joshua. Shout out to Boxing News 24, by the way. Hearn wasn't amused at hearing Wilder's 50-50 purse split demand that he wants before he'll agree to fight Anthony Joshua. This is a quote from Eddie Hearn. He said, "The only way it happens is if it's 50-50. There's no point in me saying anything. If that's what he believes, we'll just have to see what happens. For me, the focus is Jarrell Miller on June 1st. Let's make sure Anthony Joshua wins that fight, and then we can start talking about the undisputed fight. Wilder has got to beat Brazil. I don't know Wilder's mindset. I don't know his mentality. Is he believing in this hype too much? Because I know our guy is the most focused guy on the planet. He can't look past Jarrell Miller. For us, the Deontay Wilder talk is irrelevant. Let him do his interviews and have his opinions. Good luck to him. I agree that Wilder wouldn't take the fight with Joshua even if he were 50. What? What are you talking about? That's exactly what he's been asking for from the jump. And he even said he would take 60-40 if that fight were to happen in September of 2018. He would have taken 60-40 or less. If they just gave him a deal like that in 2018, you would have got it for 60-40. You would have got it for 35. You would have got it for whatever you offered Joseph Parker. All you had to do was, put a couple. All you had to do was offer him 40%. That's all you had to do. You refused to even acknowledge the fact that Deontay Wilder could be 40% of the equation. And now you're in a scenario where he knows his value's gone up. You know his value's gone up. And he's pushing the 50-50 issue. That's what he's doing. But this is what Eddie Hearn had to say. But he doesn't deserve 50-50 in my opinion. But it's up to AJ. You may have to give it to him to get that fight. This sounds to me like a guy that doesn't really want the fight. This is it. No negotiations. Maybe he's saying that because he won't get it. Or he shouldn't get it. Again, let him fight Brazil. Concentrate on that fight. Don't get beat in that fight. By the way, Dillian White will probably be his mandatory anyway. So, you know what? If I'm Eddie Hearn, You know, the WBC's been fucking with me for... WBC has been fucking with Eddie Hearn for quite some time. Bypassing, you know, an ordered fight with Luis Ortiz, right? The WBC attempted to order Dillian Whyte to face Luis Ortiz. That never happened. Point blank, it never happened. Just like they tried to order Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder rematch. That didn't happen. So Eddie campaigning, Dillian Whyte, you know, putting in some kind of a formal request to become the mandatory. Is it really gonna hold up? Has Dillian Whyte fought a designated final eliminator to be the mandatory? No, he hasn't. He hasn't, guys. There's been no final eliminator that Dillian Whyte has fought in for mandatory position. So, give him a fight with Luis Ortiz. Dillian's supposed to have something lined up. Well, fight Luis Ortiz, Dillian Whyte, and you just might get a Deontay Wilder in the ring. You just might get it. But Eddie Hearn seems to believe Dillian Whyte's going to be the mandatory. So he's either going to have to fight AJ or Dillian Whyte. And there may not be any interviewing fights before Dillian. Or intervening fights before Dillian. He's got to fight Dillian. I'd love to see that. Of course he would. Of course Eddie Hearn would love to see that. If the WBC forces Wilder to fight Whyte immediately after already fighting Brazil, it'll look like they're showing favoritism to Hearn and Matchroom Promotion. The reason why Wilder didn't defend against Brazil earlier is because the WBC failed to do their job in ordering the fight. They could have, but they didn't. And Brazil has been waiting since 2017. You know, no, what the WBC did was they ended up giving mandatory to Bermane Stiverne. What the fuck did Bermane Stiverne do to become mandatory? Except sign with Don King. What? I have no idea what Bermane Stiverne did. But whatever it is, it allowed Wilder to get a Stiverne fight and then not have to fight Dominic Brazil until 2 years later. So, it is what it is, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Hey, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. And that's what Eddie Hearn had to say about the scenario. He does believe Deontay Wilder, quote unquote, doesn't want the fight. You know, that's just Eddie Hearn, man. That's who he is. You know. And I ain't gonna shred him. I ain't gonna tear him apart, man. I think I've done enough of that. And I'm gonna let this dude, I'll let him live for a day. Let's let this dude live for a day, man. Fuck it. Is what it is. But you know what? What he needs to be worried about is Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller could be the guy that puts a monkey wrench in everything. Wilder should be concerned about Jarrell Miller as well. Because if AJ loses to Miller, how much does Miller want to make that Wilder fight? He's felt Wilder's power. And he knows he can easily get a pass for not having to fight Wilder. But will the fans demand it if Jarrell Miller were to win? Absolutely. The fans would demand it. Wilder would say he wants all the smoke. What's Jarrell Miller supposed to do? Miller's supposed to say he wants all the smoke as well. Uh, and if I'm Jarrell Miller, you look like a total hoe if you duck that fight. So that's an interesting scenario. Fuck it. I hope that shit happens, man. I hope Jarrell Miller upsets Anthony Joshua, takes this dude out of the equation, and Dillian White can, go off. And if he's really got some balls, he'll take on Luis Ortiz. Right? Because he can easily have that fight. You could do it on Sky Sports pay-per-view. Luis Ortiz will fight him in the UK. It's picture perfect. If I'm Eddie Hearn, I make that fight. But let me know what you guys think. It's E King Fight News. Hey, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Peace. Now I'm chilling, man. Chilling.